welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified every time I go live like now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as you're going along. If you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. Coming up in this episode, we're going to talk about love versus sexual attraction and love versus orgasm in relationships. So stay tuned. If you know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. I'm also the founder of Asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. And I'm the author of this beautiful fibromyalgia self-help handbook, how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy and feel happy like a superhero rock star. And this is an excellent book, which is an autobiographical book of basically how I manage my life to have less pain, more energy and feel happier. And the techniques apply whether you've got fibromyalgia or not, especially if you've got depression or anxiety. This book can really help you. There's a lot of mindset stuff in there. So on to today's episode. Thank you for joining me. It is earlier because I'm not so well, or I wasn't earlier. I nearly lost my voice. So my voice is on and off. So while it's good as much as it can be, I'm going to start doing this live stream. I'm going to make it as quick as possible because my voice is likely to go again. As you can tell, it's starting to get croakier. So today's episode is love versus sexual attraction, love versus orgasm in relationships, and basically what the heck am I talking about? So asexuality is a sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction. If you're new to this channel, I am asexual. I lack sexual attraction. So yesterday I had a meal with a friend who I used to work with in my old employed job in a big department store. I worked in that store for 5 years, and this guy used to work on a different floor to me. He knew I was asexual and he accepted that about me. But yesterday was the first time that we'd actually sat down in person to eat together since my old job, which was like 2017 is when I left there, and he left before me. But he used to come and see me. So, you know, I haven't seen him since 2017 to actually speak and sit down with, although we've remained friends online on Facebook. So it was really, really interesting. So he wanted to ask me some questions because obviously, as I do this channel, I'm seen as somewhat really knowledgeable about asexuality and an expert in my topic area. And he comes, you know, and other people come to me who are not asexual to find out more about it, which is really good. I'm really pleased about this. So he said, just tell me if you're not comfortable with answering any questions. So he did say to me that him and his wife, he's married, he's 57, and him and his wife don't have sex anymore. Obviously, this is a bit personal, but I'm not telling you who it is or any details or anything like that. Didn't post anything on Facebook about who I was seeing, so no one will know who this person is, right? So I'm being, you know, because obviously it's personal details. But he said it's not because we don't want to, it's just because we don't, basically. Hi, Sandy. And so so when I spoke to him, I said that asexuality is not a case of not wanting to have sex for the pure not wanting to have it, even you know, like as in I don't want to do it today. It's a permanent thing that is something I have. So asexuality is a sexual orientation, and it means the lack of sexual attraction. So I said to him, for me, it means I don't get the need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. But I'm permanently like that. You know, it's not because I'm because of getting older, although I'm no way near his age. It's not because of like a choice that I decide just not to have sex for the sake of it. Hi, Michaela, nice to see you. So it's not I just don't have sex for the sake of it. So I don't get the need, urge, want for partnered sexual intercourse. So I was explaining this to him. to my not asexual friend, because obviously he's trying to say that he doesn't have sex anymore. He's trying to, I guess, understand how asexuality fits into not having sex. And I said, it's my sexual orientation. But when I really kind of drummed home to him that when I look at a guy, it doesn't matter how attracted in terms of aesthetics I am to him, or how much I kiss him, I don't want sex with him. I don't get that innate need, urge, or want. That's when he actually finally understood what I was talking about. And it was very interesting, because he's a very open-minded guy, and he really understood. And my friend has got a disability. He damaged his back, and they did an operation, and it's after a while it's got worse, I think, than before the op. So he can't move very well. I said, when you're in pain anyway, when you've got disability and you're in pain, you don't really feel like having sex anyway. But the fact that you would still have it if you could, which he said he would, is different, different to me being asexual. And so he finally understood what that meant. But the reason, I wanted to point this out is because he was saying that even though him and his wife don't have sex anymore, not because they don't want to, but just because it doesn't happen, which I presume is partly obviously because he's very in a lot of pain all the time with his disability, then, he said, me and my wife are such good friends, so it doesn't matter. Right? And this is my point of the video, right? So many people who get into relationships focus on sexual attraction and how much another person can make that person orgasm, right? They're so focused on the arousal, the sexual attraction, the basically how, can I experience an orgasm? Oh, give me this amazing orgasm. And that's all they really care about. Fundamentally, that's at the core of their relationship. Right? You take that away from their relationship and they don't have a relationship. Some people honestly believe that if there's no sex going on, there is no relationship. That's what a lot of people who are heterosexual tend to believe. No sex, no relationship. But clearly this guy said to me he's not asexual. We've come to the conclusion. He said it's not because we don't want to, it's just because it doesn't happen. But he said luckily me and my wife are best friends, so we get on so well. And that's what I wanted to point out, is love is about having that deep and meaningful soulmate connection, and excuse me, I'm just right, this is a positive channel, not negative. Thank you very much. Michaela, are you okay? Right, so that's fine, Sandy, but I think you need to go somewhere else if you like that type of thing, because we need to remain positive on this channel. It's a positive channel. So right, getting back to what I was saying, so clearly my friend isn't asexual, we established that, but that is why his relationship works so well, because his relationship isn't based on sex. Even though he said he used to do a lot of that type of thing, a lot of passionate kissing and that type of thing years ago, his relationship is not based on that. It's based on bestest ever friendship, right, with his wife, and so this is why I wanted to point out the difference between love and sexual attraction, and basically focusing on an orgasm, is that when you base and the foundation of a relationship. I'm good, thanks. Thanks, Michaela. I mean, I'm glad you're good. Thanks, Michaela. Sorry, so there's just you on the chat now. I don't tolerate people who are coming on this channel being negative. So basically what I was saying is that love should be the foundation of a relationship. You should never ever go into a relationship based on how much arousal the person can give you, how much orgasm the person can give you, and how much sexual attraction the person can give you. You might be thinking, why am I saying this on an asexual channel? Because it's still very important. There's a lot of asexuals that can be on the more sexual end of the asexual spectrum, or that can be in relationships with sexuals or considering it, right? So you've got to understand, if you're going to be with someone who equally shares your philosophy on life, that if sex ends up not being part of a relationship? Could they handle it? Could they deal with it? And could they love you without it? Because love and sex are two completely different things that unfortunately many people confuse. You know, even the guy was saying, "Oh, so you're just friendly, are you?" And it's like I was trying to explain, no, I still like kissing and stuff, and me personally in a relationship, but I just don't experience sexual attraction. But luckily, you know, the good thing about him is he doesn't have sex anymore, but he's not asexual, and he says me and my wife are such good best friends, and that's why their relationship works, and they're so happy together. Is because, you know, they have got that fundamental, deep soulmate, best friend love connection, and having their own separate lives and enjoying each other's hobbies and interests. And, you know, they've got different hobbies and interests, but like he supports his wife, you know, he was telling me about a craft room she has. And, you know, and how he supports because she's got a room that's, you know, just for her crafts now. And he was saying about the birthday gifts and stuff he buys, and he finds it really easy to buy for her. And I asked him how he met her, and it was such a beautiful love story, you know. So they've been married 25 years this year, so it's incredible. Michaela, people always think it's so weird when I say I'm asexual. Last time I told someone, they suddenly started treating me like a novelty. That's not nice, and like I was some sort of unicorn. It was so weird. Wait, so you look at boys and you don't feel anything? Nope, laugh out loud. Yeah, I'm really sorry you have that experience. I mean, I know some asexuals like wearing t-shirts and hoodies with unicorn on them, meaning they're unique and special. So that's what I would think. Turn it around and think you're unique and special. Because unicorns are unique and special, aren't they? So it's in that way, it's a positive thing, even though I know that they were probably not being very nice to you, and I apologize on their behalf. Um, so, so, right, okay. Sorry, excuse me a minute. Right. Okay. Right. Right, okay. Right. No, they were fine. They were just curious. Right, okay. Anyway, they were just really curious. All right, Michaela, that's good. It's good that they were really curious. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what the guy was yesterday. He was very, very curious as well. So yeah, it was very, very curious, and I like that. It's nice if someone's curious and supportive at the same time. So yeah, I'm glad that it wasn't a bad experience. It was actually okay then. Sorry, I misunderstood what you meant. But yeah, so but yeah, I think unicorns are special and nice, so I take that in good in that sense. But yeah, so going back to what I was saying, is basically yeah, so you know, some people they base their relationships, you know, on really sexual attraction, and you know, once the sexual attraction is gone, or someone decides that they don't want the relationship anymore to be sexual, or they can't be you know, they can't have sex for whatever reason, whether that's a disability or because they are asexual or because they just don't feel like doing that much, you know, whatever it is, you know, some people they just can't keep the relationship together. And so you know, sexual attraction is a need, urge, and want for partnered sexual intercourse. And many people focus so much on the physical pleasure that they're getting, you know, like I said, the orgasm and the explosion of liquids and fluids or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And that's not the basis for a relationship. This is why so many relationships fail, is people get together for the wrong reason. They get together because of all the chemistry, all the passion and all that, but they lack the other components. Unless you've got a bestest ever friend, which your partner should be, and you love them on that fundamental deep emotional level, it's never going to work. You know, like for example, there could be a person who was for example sexually attracted to one gender and romantically attracted to another. If the person's sexually attracted to one gender, but it's just sexual attraction, there's no deep emotional connection there, there's no hobbies and interests, there's no like lovingness, there's no understanding. Basically it's just sex, an orgasm feeling and getting off, that's not going to be sustainable. Do you know what I mean? That's going to be very, very unsustainable. It's going to be just like very, very kind of watered down. It's not even going to be love. It's going to be more watered down connection. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be superficial. And all right, you may get a sexual thrill out of it, but you know, long-term relationship wise, you're not going to have fulfillment, because the fulfillment of a long-term committed relationship comes from the trust that you build with the person, the daily communication that you have with the person, the being able to share your secrets with the person, and being able to be open and honest with each other and discuss when people, you know, each other's not feeling so good about whatever it may be, and you know, get through problems and issues together. And it is a great companionship element to any type of really good in-depth relationship. You know, it's really, really, really important. And so, you know, say, like I said, someone's sexually attracted to one gender but romantically attracted to another. If a person's romantically attracted to the other person, maybe they like them aesthetically, romantically, they have a deep emotional connection with them, they have some stuff in common with them, other things are complementary, maybe, you know, that relationship, the romantic and the aesthetic one's gonna likely last far more longer than the sexual attraction one, where they just basically, you know, they haven't got much in common and they can't share their secrets, that person, because the person's, you know, like not sharing their secrets. They kind of got stuff to hide. They're not really being open and honest with each other. They're not really committed long term with each other. So yeah, it's just like, you know, not a very good not a good way, a very good way of being really in a relationship, you know. It's just not at all. So, you know, you really have to be thinking about why you're getting into a relationship, you know. Are you getting into a relationship for the pure fact of that you want a thrill, or you get into a relationship with the fact that you know, that you actually want a deep committed relationship with someone, and you're going to have a fulfilling, long lasting one down the line for months and years to come. The person that you're just like sexually attracted to, you know, that you want to have an orgasm with and that you get a bit aroused by or whatever, the physical stuff, that's not going to last, you know. Down the line, you know, you're just going to be unfulfilled and unsatisfied in other aspects of the relationship. You're going to be thinking, well, it's great we come together for a thrill, but is this all there is to it? Is this all the person loves me for? Is this all the person cares about me for? Is this all the person's interested in? And it could be very painful and hurtful, especially if you can feel romance with someone else. So I think it's very difficult for someone who's like maybe got split types of attraction, where they're like kind of heterosexual for one, you know, one gender, and asexual, you know, for example, heteromantic or panromantic, biromantic for another gender. I think that's quite difficult, you know, to deal with. But I think the person, you know, has to be, if you experience sexual attraction, you know, fine. But, you know, unless you've got the other elements, the deep companionship, the emotional connection as well, and the romance and deep, you know, love, it's not really going to go anywhere. It's going to be all right for a time, a short period, but you're not going to be able to sustain that. Like, is that person going to take care of you if you get sick? You know, but you stop having sex. Is that person going to really want to cuddle you at night? Do you know what I mean? Because they just care about you. Is that person going to want to sit listening to your troubles? Is that person going to want to really be connected to you if something happens to you? They're kind of got their minds at one with you, and they feel you and they understand you. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm not saying sexual attraction's a bad thing indefinitely per se. You know, some people do experience it, but when you've got sexual attraction, interest in orgasm and arousal, and you haven't got all the other elements, if you're looking for a long-term serious committed relationship, it's not going to last, it's not going to be sustainable, and it's going to be quite empty. You know, a relationship based on sexual attraction, arousal and orgasm without all the other elements of friendship, the soulmate connection, the deepest ever kind of respect and high levels of communication, if that isn't involved and it's just like a physical thing, that isn't love. It isn't. It's lust, to be quite frank with you. You know what I mean? And it's just, going after something or someone that just gives you a thrill, basically. It's not love. It's just a thrill. And it's okay if that's really just what you want, but if you want a long-term loving committed relationship, it shouldn't be based on sexual attraction. It shouldn't be based on how much the person can make you orgasm or aroused. It should be based on love, which is a feeling within your soul and being that that person you want to spend the rest of your life with, that you want to develop that emotional deep connection even more and further. The person that you wish, that you were with all the time, the person that you can't imagine your life without, the person that you just know you should be with, the person who lights up your world, who makes it a happier place just by being in it, the person who just when you're around them, it makes you kind of tingle and feel excited and special without even any touch. Do you know what I mean? That type of person is a person that you want to be in a relationship with and pursue and settle down with, not the one that can give you a thrill for a time and you just come together for that. That isn't love. Imagine if the heterosexual guy friend that I saw yesterday had a relationship in the past just based on sexual attraction, orgasm, arousal, and he wasn't best friends with his wife. It wouldn't be lasting now, would it? But he said he's not, he said, well, we don't have sex, and anymore. We just don't, not because we don't want it. We just don't, but it doesn't matter anyway because we're like best friends, and we get on so well. And that is the crux of the matter. You have to be bestest ever friends and get on so well, because years down the line, if you're looking for a long-term committed relationship, you've got to kind of think what's going to happen in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. If you're able to think that far. If you're not able to think that far with a specific person, don't be with them. If you're looking for a long-term committed relationship, not something short-term, right? Because you need to be thinking, is this person going to take care of me when I'm older? All right, you've got to take care of yourself, but is this person going to be there emotionally, mentally? If you were disabled, would they still love you? If something happened, would they be there for you? Would they be there, in times of tragedy, in times of real upset and pain? Would they travel miles to see you? Would they be there with you because they know that they have to care about you, love you and comfort you because you're their responsibility naturally, not because they're obliged to be with you or care about you, but just because they do. Do you know what I mean? They just feel that I have a responsibility to that person. I love them, I care about them, I respect them, I want them to be happy, I want them in my life, and I'll do my best by them. Do you know what I mean? That's the type of person you want. A relationship based on sexual attraction often doesn't have those things. It's just based on the fact of how much sex you have, how much thrill you get, how much arousal you have, and the chemistry. And you can often find that you don't have much in common with that person. You don't actually get on that well, like you might get on okay, but it's not got that deep foundational emotional connection. And if you are asexual, asexuals love on a deep emotional connection. So therefore, if we're with a person who experiences sexual attraction, but they haven't got that deep emotional bestest ever friendship with us, it's really not going to last and be sustainable and happy over the long term. It's not going to be sustainable over the long term. An asexual person needs that emotional connection. That's how we love. That's so important. It's fundamental to who we are and how we form relationships. I mean, even asexuals that don't want to be in a relationship, they develop deep bestest friendships through an emotional connection usually as well. How they relate to the person, the things they have in common, the shared hobbies, the shared interests. This is how they relate. Do you understand me? So it's very, very important. So when you are looking for someone to be in a relationship with, even if you're an asexual person, thinking about getting with a sexual, is the sexual person capable of that deep emotional connection? Are they capable of bestest ever friendships? Are they capable, say something happens down the line, you can't have sex with them still being with you? Are they capable of being there for you through thick and thin when you don't want sex? is, have you got lots of shared interests and hobbies, or is it just a case of chemistry? Because asexuals can have chemistry too. I have like chemistry usually with certain guys. I can be aesthetically attracted to. I feel the chemistry with them. I don't want sex with them, but I do have a strong desire to kiss them, and I get attracted to them. Like, I want to be with them, kissing and cuddling. But that, again, is not just because I love kissing and cuddling. I can't base a relationship on that. That's not sustainable either, because it's, again, to do with physicality. Unless the person gives me emotional connection, romantic feelings, like they don't even, like, even if we're not kissing loads, but I feel that they're romantic towards me in the loving things they say, maybe, and their actions about how they care about me. That's very important. I have to have very intelligent mental stimulation. It's no good me being with someone who, like, they haven't really got much deep conversations to have and talk to me about, because that's not going to be sustainable over the long term. It's just going to mean that I can have to get my mental stimulation and my intelligent stimulation from somewhere else. But I don't think that would be sustainable for me long term. I have to have someone who I can talk about the world, planet, and universe to. I have to be able to have that type of relationship with the person, because you have to think that going down line, there's going to be times when you can't kiss or cuddle the person, or you don't feel like it, or you're not in the mood, or they're not in the mood. Do you know what I mean? You have to understand that, and it's those particular times when you're close to each other without even being physically close, that can tell whether you actually love each other on a deep foundational level. If you're away from each other, you don't even live together, for example, but you feel that person loves and cares about you. Maybe they send you a text and say, how is your day? How's it going? Or I know you got that appointment today and I was worried about how that might go for you. These are the type of things that show you care. This is love. This is, caringness, lovingness. This is how you love someone, not how much they can make you explode physically. That isn't love. This is sexual attraction and arousal and orgasm. They're just a byproduct of, of obviously sexual attraction is what sexuals experience as their sexual orientation, but kind of the arousal and orgasm are just byproducts of that sexual attraction. Or, like some asexuals, we can experience arousal, some of us, and we could have an orgasm. I can't, I don't really get it, but some asexuals can have an orgasm. But just because we can physically do that doesn't mean to say that that is love. We could be with someone, usually we probably wouldn't do stuff like that unless we probably wouldn't, be in a sexual situation with someone unless we really cared and loved them, because sex is not usually important to us overall, right? But you know what I mean? It's not because we physically can't do that. That isn't love. Love is a feeling, a connection, a bestest ever friendship, a spiritual connection, a feeling like the person's with you, even if they're not. You can kind of be affected by that person even if you're not with them. You really care about what happens to them. That's love. Do you know what I mean? Obviously you can have friendship love, but it depends how you view that person. If you don't see you being, so say you're a romantic asexual, but you don't see that person, you don't want to kiss them ever, you don't want to cuddle them ever and stuff like that, then you could just be experiencing friendship love. But if you get the urge to kiss that person or cuddle them or be more intimate emotionally with them and maybe kind of do things that boyfriends and girlfriends would more likely do together than the average asexual friends, basically, then obviously you're going more towards romantic love. Do you see what I'm saying? So, I think it's very, very important that you reflect on your feelings and that you also reflect on, the differences between physical attraction and emotional connection, attraction, and love. Do you see what I mean? It's very important that you reflect on these and that you really try to analyze and understand what's actually going on if you're feeling kind of like both, for example. I mean, sometimes, like, I do feel highly attracted to a guy and really want to kiss him, but I'm quite aware that if I haven't got much in common with him, if he lives a really different type of lifestyle to me, if I can't connect with him emotionally and share my secrets with him, I'm aware that that's not going to be a sustainable, happy, healthy relationship for me over the long term, because I'm going to be feeling like we're not open enough with each other. We're not able to communicate with each other enough. And I can do that with my best friends. So if I can do that with my best friends, I should at least be able to do that with my boyfriend. Do you see what I'm saying? And so therefore there's a problem. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's giving you some insight into like sexual attraction, you know, the physical attraction versus actual love. You know, love is the feeling between two people, and you know, it's just the way it is. So yeah, anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much, Michaela. Oh, thank you, Nick. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes, been so insightful. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And yeah, and thanks so much. So see you soon. Brace your quirky and each other.